Every morning, before the world reaches for you, reach for yourself. In the sacred silence of dawn, when your soul is still untouched by the noise of the world, you are offered a window, a divine reset. And what you whisper to yourself in those early moments can either chain you to yesterday's limitations or launch you into the destiny you were born to fulfill. You don't need 10 affirmations or 100 goals, just 2 truths, spoken with belief and rooted in purpose, have the power to rewrite your identity, rewire your energy, and redirect your entire day. These aren't motivational cliches, they are sacred declarations, a spiritual handshake between your present self and your highest self. Say them, not just with your lips, but with your life. Number 1, I am the cause, not the effect. When you wake up each morning and boldly declare, I am the cause, not the effect. When you wake up each morning and boldly declare, I am the cause, not the effect, you ignite the spiritual revolution within yourself that transforms you from a passive observer into an active creator of your destiny. Because that one sentence, spoken with awareness, disrupts years of conditioned helplessness and reactive living, and instead places the steering wheel of your life firmly back in your own hands. It becomes the declaration that you are no longer going to live at the mercy of circumstances, moods, people, or the past, but rather as the conscious architect of the energy you emit, the choices you make, and the reality you experience. It means you no longer live like a leaf being tossed around by the wind of other people's opinions, expectations, or actions, but instead like the tree that creates its own roots, the mountain that commands the landscape, the flame that defines its own shape. Because when you realize you are the cause, you stop blaming your boss, your parents, the economy, your history, or your heartbreak. And you begin to take radical responsibility for your reactions, your emotional state, and your direction. Understanding finally that freedom is not found in controlling life, but in controlling your perception and response to it. You stop saying things like, they made me feel this way, or life is unfair, and you begin asking, what am I choosing to create right now, and what energy am I adding to this moment? Because being the cause means you know the world doesn't owe you kindness, clarity, or certainty, but you owe yourself the power to give those things to your life, regardless of what's outside you. And when you accept this truth, every morning, something profound begins to shift. Your posture changes, your eyes sharpen, and a divine authority reawakens within you, because now you realize you're not just a body responding to life, you're a soul initiating it. And while others wake up, waiting for the world to be kind before they feel peace, waiting for success before they feel confident, or waiting for validation before they feel worthy, you wake up and create the internal environment first, knowing that your peace is your responsibility, your joy is a choice, and your worth is not up for debate. And in doing so, you reverse the magnetic polarity of your life from drawing in pain, confusion, and chaos to radiating power, certainty, and clarity. You begin to walk into rooms and change their atmosphere, not because you said something, but because your energy precedes you like a quiet storm of purpose. You begin to speak less, but influence more, because you're grounded in your truth, and your vibration is no longer controlled by someone else's bad mood, their disrespect, or their emotional volatility, because your power is not up for auction anymore. And yes, it's true that the world will still throw challenges at you, people will disappoint you, storms will come, and situations will try to throw you back into a reactive mode. But when you live by this truth, you don't respond like a victim of circumstance, you respond like a master of choice. You meet conflict with clarity, setbacks with strategy, and fear with focus. Not because you're immune to emotion, but because you've trained yourself to pause and choose rather than react and regret. You become deeply intentional with your thoughts, words, and actions, realizing that every moment is a creative one, every emotion is a doorway, every thought is a seed, and every word is a spell you cast into the universe. So you guard your energy like sacred gold, and you no longer entertain conversations that drain your vision, habits that dilute your purpose, or environments that invite you to shrink, because now you realize the sacred power of alignment. Alignment with who you truly are, not who the world told you to be. And as this mindset becomes your operating system, you start to notice something wild. Your life begins to respond differently. Not because the world suddenly got easier, but because your internal world got stronger, wiser, more anchored. People treat you differently, not because they changed, but because your standards did. Doors open, not because of luck, but because your energy no longer fits rooms where your greatness is unrecognized. Even your past begins to look different, not because it disappeared, but because you finally stopped being defined by it and started becoming refined through it. And what once felt like a weight becomes a weapon of wisdom. What once broke you now builds you, and what once confused you now teaches you. Because you are the cause, and causes don't beg for change. They initiate it, embody it, become it. And every morning that you remind yourself of this truth, you chip away at the illusion that you're powerless and reinforce the eternal truth that you are here not to be shaped by the world, but to shape it through your frequency, your presence, your love, your leadership, and your fire. And if there's any legacy worth leaving behind, it's not how much you had, how many people liked you, or how loud your name was shouted, but that every day you woke up and remembered, I am the cause, not the effect. And in remembering that, you became the reason others believed they could rise too. Too many of us live reactively, as if we are passengers in our own lives, responding to moods, opinions, and circumstances that were never meant to control us. But this first truth plants you back in the driver's seat. When you wake up and say, I am the cause, not the effect, you're declaring that your energy shapes the room, your attitude sets the tone, and your choices are the force that bends reality, not the other way around. You stop blaming and start building. You're no longer reacting to life, you are creating it. This mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones and pressure into power. Say it, believe it, walk in it. Number 2, everything I need is already within me. When you wake up each morning and speak the words, everything I need is already within me, you are not merely offering yourself a comforting affirmation, you are declaring a profound, eternal truth that defies the illusions of lack, scarcity, and dependency that society has tried to etch into your soul since birth. You are tearing down the lie that your worth is outside of you, that your joy depends on circumstances, or that your peace is on layaway until the world finally gets its act together. Because from the moment you were born, you were whole. Not perfect, not without struggle, but divinely complete. Equipped with everything your purpose will ever demand, your challenges will ever require, and your future will ever call forth. This statement is not wishful thinking. It's spiritual fact. And the moment you choose to believe it, you unlock a level of power, self-trust, and grounded wisdom that cannot be purchased, borrowed, or imitated. The world will tempt you to forget this truth. It will scream that you are not enough, until you get that degree, until you have that relationship, that body, that income, that validation, that following, that title. But the deeper truth is, everything you chase externally is only a distorted reflection of something that already lives inside you. You don't chase love, you are love. You don't chase strength, you hold strength. You don't seek freedom, you embody it. And when you return to this awareness, not only do you stop seeking from a place of desperation, you start attracting from a place of wholeness. You no longer hustle for your value because you've remembered it can never be earned, only revealed. And though life will present seasons of doubt, where fear whispers that you're behind, not ready, or not capable, you will meet that fear with faith, because you know your source is not your resume, not your appearance, not your past, not your bank account, but something deeper. An eternal power that no one can give or take. And yes, people may walk away, doors may close, opportunities may dry up. But when you live from this truth, your confidence does not die, because your value was never attached to the temporary. It was rooted in the infinite. You no longer crumble when plans fail, because you trust that divine intelligence doesn't always operate on your calendar, but it always works through your character. And this kind of inner trust is rare, because the world trains you to worship the external, to think your power is in someone else's hands. But when you wake up and say, everything I need is already within me, you reclaim what the world tried to steal, your ability to choose peace in chaos, to find answers in silence, to stand tall in storms, and to know that if the road is unclear, you are still the path. It means that you don't beg for signs, you become one. You don't wait for miracles. You remember you are one, and you don't apologize for your light. You protect it, nurture it, and shine it without shame. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this truth is what it does for your relationships. Because when you stop needing others to complete you, you finally start loving them freely, without the poison of expectation or dependency. And you stop entering rooms trying to prove your worth, because your presence is the proof. You stop comparing your journey to anyone else's, because you know your soul didn't come here to copy. It came to express, to create, to lead, to serve, and to grow. Not by accumulating more, but by remembering more. Remembering that your intuition is sacred, your perspective is worthy, your resilience is ancient, and your essence is enough. And though life will still bruise you, shake you, and test you, when this truth is alive in you, nothing can permanently break you, because you are not fragile, you are forged. You are not lacking, you are layered, and you are not waiting to be chosen. You already are, by the very breath in your lungs, the very fire in your spirit, the very beat in your heart. And every time you whisper this truth to yourself, you are silencing every old voice that said you're too late, too broken, too flawed, too ordinary. And instead, you're reminding yourself that the treasure is not ahead of you, it's already inside you. And life is not a race to earn it, but a journey to unveil it. And if there is anything worth building your day on, before you check your phone, before you scroll through a world that profits from your insecurity, it is the unwavering reminder that you do not lack. You do not need to chase your worth. You do not have to wait until you're more polished, more healed, more accepted. Because right now, as you are, with your scars, your questions, your dreams, and your doubts, you hold inside you the very essence of what you seek. Power, clarity, peace, courage, direction, and love. And so say it every morning with conviction, that even in the end, you're not inside. You do not have to take it with you. You do not have to take it with you. You do not have to take it with you. You do not have to take it with you. You do not have to take it with you. You do not have to take it with you. You do not have to take it with you. Breathe it into your bones. Walk with it in your posture, and let every action echo it loudly. Everything I need is already within me. And when you live from that truth, you no longer just survive life, You rise, you lead, you love, you transform, and you finally become the person your soul has always known you were meant to be. We live in a world that profits from your self-doubt, convincing you that you're one course, one relationship, or one miracle away from being enough. You live in a world that profits from your self-doubt, convincing you that you're one course, one relationship, or one miracle away from being enough. You live in a world that profits from your self-doubt, convincing you that you're one course, one relationship, or one miracle away from being enough. You live in a world that profits from your self-doubt. But this second truth is a rebellion against that lie. Everything I need is already within me reminds you that you were born complete. You were never lacking, only distracted. This truth unlocks the vault of inner wisdom, resilience, peace, and divine intelligence already planted in your soul. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you truly are. When you say this, every morning you silence comparison, awaken courage, and remember that your greatness was never missing, just waiting to be claimed. Across history, the most remarkable individuals, those who transcended limitations, broke generational cycles, and altered the course of humanity, did not begin with wealth, fame, or perfect circumstances. They began with belief, a rooted inner truth, and often with nothing but their mindset to guide them. These two powerful declarations, I am the cause, not the effect, and everything I need is already within me, are not modern motivational slogans but ancient truths echoed by sages, warriors, visionaries, and spiritual giants throughout time. Take for example Mahatma Gandhi, who did not wait for power, position, or military might to begin transforming a nation. Colonized, ridiculed, and underestimated, he recognized that he was the cause, that non-violent resistance, when born from inner conviction, could ripple outward and shake empires. When he said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world," he was living out the exact principle that your life is not defined by outside control, but inside choice. His Salt March in 1930, a simple walk in defiance of British law, was not just a protest. It was a demonstration that inner strength, discipline, and moral clarity could overcome even the mightiest external forces. Or consider Harriet Tubman, born into slavery with no rights, no education, and no earthly power. By all definitions, she was a victim of her circumstances. But deep inside, Harriet believed she was more. She once said, "I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves." That was a woman who understood that transformation begins within. She didn't wait for permission. She decided she would be the cause, not the effect. Risking her life, she led enslaved men and women through the Underground Railroad, becoming a symbol of divine courage and unwavering willpower. Her story is a reminder that the human spirit, when aligned with a sense of divine purpose, is a force no oppression can silence. Similarly, Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, was surrounded by bars, but never internally imprisoned. The world thought they had silenced him, but while in a cold cell, he chose to say, "I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." That one belief, that he was still the cause, kept his dignity intact and prepared him to lead South Africa out of apartheid. His freedom started in his mind long before it manifested in his life. Even Helen Keller, born both deaf and blind, was expected to live in isolation, dependent on others. But she declared in action that everything I need is already within me. Through perseverance and the fierce mentorship of Anne Sullivan, she became the first deaf-blind person to earn a college degree, write best-selling books, and speak to audiences around the world. She didn't find the power to do that. She uncovered it. It had always been there. Her courage reminds us that external limitations cannot bury the gifts we carry inside unless we allow them to. These stories are not coincidences. They are proof that the greatest awakenings happen not through outside intervention, but internal revelation. In ancient history, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, ruled over a vast empire and wrote meditations to himself, reminding him that peace cannot come from the throne, it must come from within. In the middle of battles, plagues, and political chaos, he chose to live by the Stoic truth: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the heartbeat of I am the cause, not the effect. A belief that our reactions shape our fate more than our conditions ever will. Go further back, and even in sacred scripture, you'll see the same truths. When Moses stood at the edge of the Red Sea, with an entire nation behind him and Pharaoh's army closing in, the people panicked. But Moses raised his staff, not because the sea had already parted, but because he believed that within him was access to a higher power that could shift nature itself. In the moment he chose to act with faith, the miracle met him. When David stepped forward with a sling to face Goliath, he wasn't leaning on external weapons or armor. He was rooted in the belief that what he already had was enough. And even in the teachings of Jesus, we are told the kingdom of God is within you. A timeless reminder that divinity, strength, purpose, and wisdom are not things we earn from outside, but truths we awaken from within. Fast forward to modern times, and you'll see this echoed in the lives of people like Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty and abuse, yet who believed that her voice and vision could create something greater. She often says, you become what you believe, not what you wish for, reflecting again the inner authority that separates victims from victors. She wasn't handed success. She excavated it from within herself, rising above trauma through belief, integrity, and a refusal to let her environment define her. The same truth applies to Malala Yousafzai, who as a teenage girl was shot for wanting to go to school. While the world tried to silence her, she chose to believe that her voice could still change the world. She went on to become a Nobel Prize winner, not because she was spared from pain, but because she realized her inner truth was more powerful than external fear. All these stories, ancient and modern, religious and secular, shout the same message. Your power is not in your circumstances. It's in your choices, your beliefs, your resilience, and your willingness to awaken what's already inside you. Every single morning when you declare what's already inside you, you are standing with Gandhi, Mandela, Harriet, and Helen. When you say, everything I need is already within me, you are aligning yourself with the divine truth that shaped prophets, revolutionaries, and legends. You are not empty. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are a walking miracle of potential waiting to be activated. So as the sun rises each day and you breathe those sacred words into your spirit, remember, you are echoing history, fulfilling destiny, and continuing a legacy of those who rose not because they had more, but because they believed they already were more. From the beginning of creation, Religion has taught that human beings are not mere accidents or powerless bystanders in life, but divinely empowered souls, made in the image of the Creator, sent to walk the earth with purpose, authority, and spiritual inheritance. And when you declare each morning, I am the cause, not the effect, and everything I need is already within me, you are not making empty affirmations. You are awakening ancient truths that echo across sacred scriptures and the teachings of prophets, saints, sages, and mystics throughout time. In Christianity, the Bible opens with the declaration that man was created in the image and likeness of God, Genesis 1:27, which means the creative nature of the divine lives within us. And Christ himself taught in Luke 17:21 that the kingdom of God is within you, not in a temple, not in external achievement, but within the human spirit, which is already equipped with the divine potential to heal, transform, forgive, lead, and overcome. Jesus did not come to give people power, they already had it. He came to remind them of it. In Matthew 5:14, he told his followers, you are the light of the world, a direct message of personal responsibility and divine agency, reinforcing that we are not here to be shaped by darkness, but to be the cause of light, clarity, and change in a dark world. Similarly, in Islam, the Quran consistently calls mankind Khalifa, Surah Al-Baqarah 230, meaning successor, steward, or vicegerent on earth, showing that humans are not passive recipients of fate, but chosen agents of divine responsibility, endowed with free will, intellect, and soul, powerful enough to shape their own path through niyyah and amal, action. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, actions are judged by intentions. A powerful reminder that your inner cause, your beliefs, and your chosen mindset determine the outcome. And he emphasized self-accountability by stating, each of you is a shepherd, and each of you is responsible for his flock, echoing that we must live as conscious initiators, not victims of circumstance. And when you wake up and say, everything I need is already within me, you are reflecting the Quranic verse, and he is with you wherever you are. And then Surah Al-Hajj 57:4, a sacred confirmation that divine support and presence are already inside you, not somewhere you must earn or search for. Your heart, your ruh, soul, already carries the divine breath, breathed into Adam, Surah Al-Hajj 15:29. In Buddhism, the Buddha's enlightenment was rooted in the realization that liberation does not come from the world outside, but from awakening the truth already within. He taught, no one saves us but ourselves, no one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path, which is the spiritual embodiment of I am the cause, not the effect. Meaning, our suffering ends when we stop blaming others and start transforming within. The Eightfold Path and mindfulness practices train the seeker to return again and again to their inner truth, because Buddha nature, the seed of enlightenment, already resides within every being, waiting not to be added, but revealed. In Hinduism, the concept of Atman, the inner soul, and Brahman, the universal divine, teaches that Tat Tivam Asid, thou art that. You are not separate from the divine, but a manifestation of it. And thus you already carry within you the wisdom, strength, and courage of the eternal. Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita tells Arjuna not to be swayed by the outside war, but to look within himself for clarity and strength, saying, be steadfast in yoga, O Arjuna, perform your duty and abandon all attachment to success or failure. Such evenness of mind is called yoga, again reminding us that the battle is not won by waiting for better conditions, but by choosing a better state of mind. The Gita's teaching on karma yoga, selfless action, reveals that man is not here to be tossed around by destiny, but to shape it through inner mastery. Even in Judaism, the Talmud teaches, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? A direct call to personal agency and divine responsibility. And in the Psalms, King David says, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139:14. Reinforcing the truth that the soul is not born empty, but already full of divine coding, purpose, and potential. And across all faiths, there is this thread, that human beings are not weak, lost creatures needing to beg for scraps of power or guidance, but sacred vessels of divine essence, often simply asleep to what is already within them. Even mystics and saints, such as Saint Teresa of Avila, said, the soul is capable of much more than we realize. And Rumi, the great Sufi poet, wrote, you were born with wings, why prefer to crawl through life? Both echoing that your spiritual awakening begins the moment you stop searching and start remembering. When you declare, I am the cause, not the effect, you are rising in the divine order of things, taking responsibility as God's representative on earth. And when you say everything I need is already within me, you are not becoming prideful, you are becoming aligned with the sacred truth that the divine does not make incomplete things. You are not waiting to be filled. You were born full, and your journey is not to collect worth, but to uncover it. These two truths are not motivational. They are scriptural, timeless, and eternal. And every morning that you rise and speak them, you are not just preparing for the day. You are stepping into your divine identity, reclaiming the spiritual inheritance of prophets, saints, sages, and teachers who all came to awaken the same truth, that God does not abandon His creation, but hides His light inside it, waiting, not to be earned, but to be discovered. So as we bring this journey to a close, let us reflect on the divine simplicity and unmatched power behind these two sacred morning declarations. I am the cause, not the effect, and everything I need is already within me. Because if you truly absorb these truths into your mind, body, and spirit each morning, your life will never again be driven by fear, comparison, or external chaos, but by clarity, confidence, and sacred direction. These aren't just affirmations. They are weapons for your soul, armor for your heart, and alignment for your day. And now that you've been reminded, your responsibility is not just to remember them, but to live them, to practice them, to embody them in the quiet of your thoughts and the chaos of your trials. The world will still try to pull you into reactivity, to trick you into believing that life is happening to you, not through you. But that's when you must stand still and return to the cause within. Return to the voice of your spirit that says, I am not a product of my pain. I am the creator of my peace. Make it your practice every morning to look into the mirror, not just to check your face, but to connect with your inner truth and speak to yourself like your life depends on it. Because it does. Train yourself not to wake up, grabbing your phone or scrolling through the lives of others, but instead to claim the vibration of your own life first. To take ownership of your emotional state before the world tells you who to be or how to feel. Speak these words into your bones, into your breath, into your being. I am the cause, not the effect, and everything I need is already within me. And let these words become the foundation of your focus, your habits, your decisions, your boundaries, your goals, and your relationships. Stop outsourcing your joy to other people's moods. Stop letting the news control your peace. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to be great. From this day forward, stop seeing yourself as a broken puzzle needing to be completed, and start seeing yourself as a powerful soul, remembering what was never truly lost. Understand that the path to mastery is not in becoming someone else. It is in becoming fully yourself. And when fear comes whispering that you are not ready, remind it that you were born ready, because the seed of purpose within you has always carried the blueprint for your next level. Don't let a bad morning become a bad day, and don't let one disappointment turn into a lifetime of doubt. Because success is not by choice. Success is to be chosen. It doesn't simply happen because you let down. Rise with faith that every step you take in awareness of your inner power is a step toward your divine assignment. Yes, rest when you need to, cry when it's honest, but never confuse a season of struggle with a sentence of stagnation. Hold yourself accountable, not in guilt but in grace. Discipline your thoughts like a garden. Pull out the weeds of doubt and water the seeds of truth every day. Build a daily ritual around your morning truth. Pray, breathe, write, declare, and center yourself. Speak these two truths until your subconscious makes them your default language, your natural response, your spiritual instinct. Let your energy speak louder than your resume, and let your alignment attract more than your hustle ever could. And remember, there will be days when your faith is tested, when you feel forgotten, when nothing seems to be working. But that's when you double down on the truth, when you hold the line and refuse to give away your power just because your feelings fluctuate. This journey is not about being perfect. It's about being present, being intentional, being awake to who you truly are. When life feels chaotic, go inward. When you feel unworthy, speak truth over your life. When you feel abandoned, reconnect to the divine within you that has never left you. You are not too old, too late, too far gone. You are exactly where your soul needs you to be to begin again. Stronger, wiser, more intentional than ever before. And when others don't believe in you, you still will. When no one claps, you'll still rise. When the storm comes, you won't run. You'll anchor deeper. Because your cause lives inside you, and your completeness is not pending, it is present. Protect your morning mindset like it's sacred ground, because it is the command center of your day, the gatekeeper of your actions, and the seedbed of your character. Be mindful of what you consume first thing in the morning. Read what nourishes, speak what uplifts, and listen to what strengthens. And above all, never forget that greatness does not arrive in a moment. It grows in the moments you choose truth over fear, consistency over comfort, and alignment over approval. The world is loud, but your spirit is louder if you dare to listen. And so I say to you now, with love and clarity, wake up with reverence, walk with purpose, speak with power. Wake up with reverence, walk with purpose, speak with power, and remember, every single day, you are the cause, not the effect. Everything you need is already within you. Say it, live it, embody it, protect it, and watch your life transform, not by accident, but by intention, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. And as you go forward, may peace be your foundation. May truth be your compass. May your mornings be sacred, your actions be holy, your presence be healing, and your journey be aligned with the infinite power that has lived in you since the beginning of time. And now, in closing, I pray, may the Creator awaken in you the courage to rise daily with purpose, the clarity to know your worth without question, and the strength to remember that you are not broken, not lacking, not behind, but chosen, equipped, and fully capable of becoming all that you were created to be. Amen.